Listening in to this podcast and beyond. Cowboys fielding trade calls. And look at the trade. Appreciate everybody. Appreciate you. Shout out to you. Come on. They say, really, really ain't no party like a cowboy party. Baby, but I tell you, the Cowboys party. Woo! They party. Hide your mama, hide your daughters. They party, baby. Come on. Go. They say we're looking for real conversation that rules the nation, baby. I'm giving it to y'all raw, uncut, with no filter, baby. Who else could it be? It's your brother from another mother, no other. Don't look like Danny Glover, but I keep it cool with y'all. Yeah. Hey, oh, Jerry. All right. You know, it is what it is, Cowboy Nation. We've been here before. Whereas the talk track and the storyline for your mind is pushed back like the hairline of Stephen A. Smith. Yo, what's up? What's up with y'all? All right, so I was working on a video, and I said, man, let me look up. And I saw that the reporter said that Collins is on the trading blocks. So that means two things. One being they're trying to get something out of it in return. The other thing that they saying that they really like out of this situation is that they trust in Terrence Steele. You know, so that's the situation, the trust in Terrence Steele. Appreciate you, Frank. Man, look at Frank helping the nation. Yeah, if they trade, oh my God, let me go all the way down and let me put Frank information up here. Come on, get up there. If they trade Collins to cut Coop and lose Lawrence, lose Gregory, do this mean possible a big trade, big free agent target?
No.
Let me fix myself. No, they don't believe in that, but I appreciate you for your love and adulations, Frank. I appreciate you for that. Shout out to you, John, and shout out to everybody that's on the Facebook right now. I've seen the Facebook groove is growing. I appreciate y'all. So, Jerry, I am your father. You are the father. Y'all crazy. Y'all leave Jerry Jones alone now. It's not good talking about Jerry Jones and what he's doing outside of the business of the Cowboys sport in general. Yeah, I heard that you can't talk about those things, so you get frowned upon. So let's be like all of the other people. Shy away from this conversation with Jerry Jones. Let's talk about football. Let's talk about that, because I don't want
FBI, open up!
I don't want them to come knocking on the door. Shout out to Tasha K, but I don't want the Tasha K situation to happen, Cowboy Nation, to me. Shout out to Tasha K and Cardi B. I hope all is well with both of them, allegedly, right? But here's the situation. La'el Collins, if they can get something valuable back in return, this would literally be the first time. This would be the first time in ages. Decades, right? Who's the last person we traded away and got something back in return? Was it Ryan Switzer and we got a Jihad Ward? Y'all remember that? And Jihad Ward lasted as long as a freeze cup in Texas on a hot summer day. of being frozen. He just. Shout out to you, Natasha. Shout out to you, said, man, appreciate you. Herschel Walker, that's a long time. See, we don't do a lot of willing and dealing, so that's when I looked at this situation. I said, okay, and I'm with the belief Collins is very serviceable. I think that Collins is a decent offensive lineman for us. I think that Collins had one good year as a right tackle, right? And every other year was kind of like, okay, yeah, he's growing into that, right? But I can tell you that La'el Collins at right tackle, he was coming along the way. And then injuries occurred, of course, the pandemic. And this season, we saw La'el Collins play into shape to play right tackle. But his hands down, his better season at right tackle was 2019. There's no one that can argue that he wasn't a solid right tackle in 19. 18, he was coming along his way. We was like, oh, because if you look back at even if 2018, if you look back at it, he made a very pivotal play for the Rams. He sacked Dak Prescott. You remember that? I can't make this stuff up.
No.
Yeah, he sacked Dak Prescott. You go back in that playoff game. We were like, hey, where's his feet? Where's his awareness? What's going on with him? But in 19, he followed that 18 season up, and he did a dang good job. Dang good job in 2019. It's just that our record overall didn't reflect that. And La'el Collins coming into this team altogether, we was looking at him as a guard that can pull and maul and get some things down the field. That's one thing I can tell you. That's one thing I can tell you, and I'm right. And if any time I can tell you I can stand out like this, and I can say that I'm right on this topic, because these are the facts. It makes my teeth white and my beard grow longer. Somebody said, Law, you should shave your beard. Dude, I shaved it this morning. I trimmed it all the way down. But by me telling so much truth, the beard done grew back. And nobody can out-debate me on this. La'el Collins never gave up a sack as a guard. There's nobody that can out-debate me on that one. You can't find it, baby. You can look up film left and right until your eyeballs fall out of their sockets. You can't find when Collins gave up a sack as a guard, especially at that left guard spot. You can go back. Jaquez, appreciate you. I love the Cowboys are trading La'el Collins, but he didn't do nothing for us this year. My thing is, La'el Collins had to play himself into shape. And on top of that, Jaquez, I appreciate you. But they are just fielding options out there to see whether or not somebody is willing to pay whatever it may be. Two things that we got to see out of this. For one, I'm not a big fan of getting rid of La'el Collins, by the way. So just to put that on record. Number two, if we do decide to move on from him, it better be worth our while. We better get something back in return that's valuable to us. We better not sit there and say, yeah, we got rid of La'el Collins for a fifth in a conditional 6th-round draft pick. You talking about some furniture being moved around? Oh, you talking about red hot law? There'll be a new day. On this day, I say, this is red hot law day, 24/7, appreciate you. So, yes, Tucker says, yes, sir. They moved him to OG, yeah, whatever that means. Let's see. Thomas, if you remember, I literally told you when I was in Dallas that they needed to move Collins at left guard. Yeah, I agree. Look, there's no way. Like, if I was to do like a trajectory, right? Like, let's just be real. Let's just be real. Let's just be real with ourselves, have the conversation with ourselves, right? And you would say, if there was the learning curve, the bell curve, and all of the curves that we learned, and growth charts or what have you, and you were to remove biasness and just take it out of the picture of the equation, and you were to have a chart line for your mind, to have and to hold Connor Williams at left guard, and on that same trajectory, is to have and to hold La'el Collins at left guard, and you play them for the same amount of years at that said same solid spot, who would have been the better player at left guard? I want to know your thoughts on that one, Cowboy Nation. Shout out to you, Gina. Thank you for jumping in. Second round pick at best for a bomb. K. Brooks, appreciate you. Of a bomb. No. But if the Cowboys can fleece the team for a first-round draft pick for La'el Collins, boy, don't you know there'll be some good stuff around here. Right. So John says LC for sure. Who else? Who else got the answer? That if you were to select an opportunity to have the multiverse, right? And you have the ability to have the same set of circumstances, but you have the time stone to go back in time, right? Or whatever. If you're just talking some fantasy talk for you, and you pick up La'el Collins, and you start Connor Williams and La'el Collins on the same team but in different multiverse at left guard, and you play them for the same amount of time, you for sure will have Collins as the better choice. And we as fans know that, right? When we sit back and look at the front office, just like we said, a third of us was saying, play Byron Jones at cornerback. He's not a safety. You got to use his frame and redirect, and they kept putting him at safety. We was like, literally. I remember beating on the table. He's a cornerback. He's a cornerback. He's a cornerback. He's a cornerback. But that's the story of a different day. Was he that bad at right tackle? This is from D. Harris. No. He wasn't bad at right tackle, by the way. It took him a minute to pick up the nuances and all of the other stuff that my guy, the OC, can break down with the leg and the knee bend, the widen, the hand placement, and the foot speed and the shift of weight and weight distribution and everything, right? It took him a minute to get there. And I'm not saying, Cowboy Nation, that La'el Collins is sus or a bomb or trash. I'm not saying that. I refuse to put that label on him. But I kid you not. When was La'el Collins? What year did La'el Collins enter the NFL? I'm gonna read y'all comment. What year was it? I'm gonna read your comment, and when you guys put it down while I pull up this right here, I'm gonna read your comments. When he had to start in the NFL, 2015. Somebody put 2015. 2015. And when was his best year at right tackle? Look it up. It's 2019. 2019. 2020, he didn't even play. So what are we talking about here, right? Come on, you got a guy that came to this team in 15, right? His best year when he was formidable enough so that we can say, yeah, this dude's solid, was 2019. Look at that. I can't make this stuff up. So that's what I'm trying to tell everybody. That he never, while he was playing guard, was he a Hall of Fame guard? No. But his skill set and his size and his measurables and what we were able to identify with. Now, some of that, if you want to pluck at the low-hanging fruit and say, yeah, shoot, Law, they could throw Your butt, even at 205, it's the heaviest I've been in my life, 205. I'm a little dude, ain't no big dude. I'm 205. And you'd have looked good right next to Travis Frederick and Tyron Smith. Nah, they would have blew through me, baby. They'd have blew through me. Law 205, eh? Shoot, he was alive. Shoot, we're going to bury that man. Shoot, I seen some. Look, man, I was 205 pounds in middle school, Law, a grown dude, man, he 205. They throwing him around. They beating him up like a pinata. But what I'm saying is, collectively, Collins' inside, to me, would have been known throughout the NFL as a dominant left guard before 2019 if he would just stayed there. Leon, shout out to you. Leon Lewis says you compare him to Larry Allen. I mean, big LA, man. It's no comparisons to him. I was watching like some of the strongest guys in this particular combine, 32 reps on the 225. Big LA did that thing, 49 times after he done did other bench curls and everything else. Yeah, and 24/7, man, appreciate you. Cowboy, if you have not hit that like button right now.
Shame. Shame.
Oh, no.
Shame.
You catfishing Gina. Kirk Cousin to Miami. Let me see if that's true. Oh, my God. I need to go live every time around this time. Let me see what we got. Let's see what we got, Gina. Let me see. Rappaport, the other conversation that's around the Cowboys news. The baseball, I ain't worried about baseball. Linebacker clicking the cycle. Cowboys are actively, that's where we at right here. We're actively trading La'el Collins. I don't see it yet. Y'all let me know where it's at. Larry Allen could scoot. Yeah. This is the thing. She just got bad news, man. I don't believe Gina is lying. She just had bad news, man. It's fake. I think it's probably fake news because I'm looking at Tua. Tua's pretty good. I wouldn't be ready to move on from Tua, and especially with that type of a new coaching staff, Josh McDaniel. I'm looking at it like Tua, he can run a little bit, right? And you got Jalen Waddle, that's a young guy. You can go in this draft and match up Jalen Waddle with another receiver, and that can look good for the Miami team. And we already know, I can bet you right now they're going to have a running back to get over 1,000 yards there if he can stay healthy. So the Miami team is going to be a surprise. It's going to be a good competition for Bill Belichick and company over there in that division. But neither here nor there. Trade offers, too, is not just for La'el Collins. Also, Jane Slater reported, and let me see if I can pull this up. I appreciate you guys so much for tuning in to the nation on all of this. Let me see if I can pull it up because I know I tweeted it out.
You talked right there that the Cowboys did so good in the draft this year with Micah.
Let me see. Let me do it right here. Let me do it like this because I can't play the video, of course. But I can do it this way. I can play the audio. Come on, let's do it this way.
Yeah, remember you talked right there that the Cowboys did so good in the draft this year with Micah Parsons. Let's talk about the draft the year before when they got CeeDee Lamb. That has set up the conversation about which receiver to keep and which receiver to let go. Now, if you'll remember, when they did Amari Cooper's contract, they gave themselves a bit of an out this year. In other words, if he's on the book by the 5th day of the new league year, they're on the hook for $20 million guaranteed. So it's my understanding they're letting him hang around a little bit. And that's because when I made some calls this morning, they had been getting some calls. Now,
all right, so that was Jane Slater on yesterday about our guy, Amari Cooper, is on the trading blocks as well. Now, that was the video that I was working on before I saw this news. And I said, look, let me just go live because the video is going to take a couple of 30, 40 more minutes before I complete it. But neither here nor there, Cowboy Nation. Let's play a game. Let me finish this audio, though. Let me finish the audio.
I asked them to characterize how serious that was. They wouldn't get into it, but they are trying, understanding, they're letting him hang around a little bit. And that's because when I made some calls this morning, they had been getting some calls. Now I asked them to characterize how serious that was. They wouldn't get into it, but they are trying to get something out of this. Keep in mind, they gave up a first-round pick for Amari Cooper when they brought it to Dallas. And with that being said, he did sort of change the trajectory of this offense. He was an immediate impact player. They're hoping that somebody else sees equal value in him. In other words, you can go out and draft a wide receiver, or if they release him, you have to compete for his contract on the open market.
All right, so those are the things, right? Let me pull up y'all chat right here. Amari Cooper, if you trade for him, you don't have to compete for him on the open market, right? You can say, okay, I'm a team that don't have Miami money. Miami money is like $60 million that they got available in cap space, right? They can really call the Cowboys up right now and say, hey, we'll take over the contract for Amari Cooper, and we can pay him $20 million without blinking, right? Whatever, and then spread out the money. That can work real good for them. But, they will have to, in order to trade like that, they got to have a dancing partner, right? Teams know this. Teams flat out know that if you about to cut this guy anyway, I don't give a dog about the market. The way you guys are saying the market, I don't want to fight for the market to get him. Because he don't have to clear waivers. Because he's already a veteran. I think that when teams release a player and they're not a veteran, and they have to go through that ordering process of the draft order, what have you, of that, then it would be a greater incentive to go ahead and trade for a guy before he's released or what have you. But by it being the way it is now, Cowboy Nation, teams can sit back and say, nah, man, I ain't finna give up no resources to get somebody that you are about to get rid of anyway. I'm going to wait till you cut him. Forget the open market. I hope people understand that part of it. Now, in the next 5 minutes or so, I could be eating my words, and it could be. News out of Fort Worth, Texas. I guess they got a station somewhere out there. The Dallas Cowboys traded Amari Cooper to the Miami Dolphins for 2 first-round draft picks. Now, that would really change our whole mindset, right? But that's not finna happen, Cowboy Nation. And what type of draft pick will you really put on Amari Cooper? Is it a 4th-round draft pick, 5th round, a 3rd, a 2? What would you really put on that, When, if that's the case in the scenario, we got fleeced of a 1st-round draft pick from the Raiders, right? Tyron Smith need to be traded for a 1st. This is from Texas Boy. I think that the other teams can look at the fact that they look at Tyron Smith and they say, man, he's a good, excellent tackle. But he get injured, And we ain't going to touch that until the Cowboys release him. Then we will play around with that. But we ain't finna give the Cowboys nothing. Teams are scared out of their minds to trade anything with the Cowboys. For 1, the Cowboys gloat. For 2, everything is pumped up, right? The person that offers the deal first lose all of the leverage. Deadlines do make deals, I get it, but if a team is willing to come to the Cowboys and say, all right, we want to trade, they lose leverage because nobody want to be the team that traded with the Cowboys and get that Minnesota vibes, right? Nobody want to be that team. No. The Cowboys bragged all through the 90s and still to this day. The Herschel Walker trade. Right? Jerry was so aloof to everything after Jimmy left, he went back and got Herschel Walker back to this team, right? I can't make this stuff up. He went back to this team and got a Herschel Walker, for this team. Right? So that he can see if he can relive that moment, that time. So teams are really, really looking at it like, man, we ain't finna trade. No. We ain't finna do that. We ain't finna do that with the Cowboys again. No. Why? Because they don't know how to hush. They don't know how to hush. And I'm not, look, I'm not calling out our front office. I'm not. But who bragged more as an organization in the front office with the chest all the way out, with the slick back, with the glasses all on the face, just sucking down some Johnny Walker Blue, and said, yes, we're not worried. We gave up a first-round draft pick for Amari Cooper, but we keep keying and laughing all the way to the bank. Huh? Y'all remember that? We'll be watching his highlights in the playoffs and all of this stuff, right? They couldn't just be humbled and said, yeah, we got Amari Cooper for the first-round draft pick, and we're going to go back in and start doing our evaluation for the nation. They couldn't be humble. They had to let everybody know. We the ones got over the Raiders. It was a bad look for the Raiders. They scoffed and they laughed and they ridiculed. They pointed the finger, he. But now, all of a sudden, the Raiders conversation is that the Raiders were right, I can't make this stuff up. And that's what we have to live through. So think about this. Teams do look at the Cowboys and say, man, if I really want to do this trade action with the Cowboys, will the media flip it on us and say that, oh, man, we re-sparked the dynasty for the Cowboys again? Right. Roland says, it's so hard to be humble. Oh, yeah. It is a wise move to move on from Lyle. This is from Troy C. Appreciate you. Shout out to you, Sadiq. We appreciate you. Roll Collins is on the chopping block. Yeah. Oh, my gosh. And it will be no surprise to my imagination that the Cowboys actually saw that Terrence Steele was better. And they said, well, dog, we got to start thinking for 2022, 2023, 2024. Although Terrence Steele is better or playing better or more healthier or more in shape, that's a better way to say it, and more athletic, right now at that right tackle spot, we got to showcase some good tape and value and pump up Collins so that he could be trade worthy. Paul says nothing like a good blood test. Yeah, I feel you though. And I know which storyline you're talking about. But shout out to you, my dog. I thought we were gonna take the moral high ground, right? We ain't gonna talk about, the Jones story, the Jones family. 'Cause that's a personal topic. We only focusing in on football, right? The Jones family. And look, somebody had a good point earlier. They said, now we know what really Jason Gary had over Jerry.
No.
Yeah, man, that's too funny, right? Cut and trade everyone, start over just from Gmail. I mean, that is a philosophy. That's what you call a purge. Why not trade still? This from Leon Lewis. All right, so that's a good point too. That's a good point. Normally, when you get new administrations, the new come in and they say, okay, we want to trade everyone, right? Still is a part, I believe, of this new administration. So I think that they really believe in Steele versus Lyell. Normally that's how it goes, right? And that's just how it always been. Like you get a new coaching staff, and that's what we really look. Look, this is what we really want to say. The whole thought track, Cowboy Nation. Jerry is the one that y'all throw me off, man.
No.
Y'all throw me off, baby. But here's the situation, Cowboy Nation. What we wanted as Cowboy fans to really, for Mike McCarthy to come in to erase everything of the philosophy and the old teachings of the previous administration. But what he did was the exact opposite of what we wanted. We see with our natural eyes that it happened on the defensive side because there was no more Rob Marinelli. There were no more Chris Richard's teaching. All of those teachings and stuff was gone. The only person that they kept on the defensive side was Leon Lett. And if anybody know the real storyline of Leon Lett, you say, okay, I get it, right? I mean, look, he's a statue here in the organization now. Shout out to Big Cat, But we saw that on the defensive side. And, of course, it was terrible of the Nolan's defense or what have you, but that was a favor, right? That was a one-up. That was like me getting a big-time offer for a company, which I'm not putting my name in the hat, but it's like me getting one, and I'm bringing in Big Game James, Boss Cowboy, my guy Skywalker, and some of the other YouTubers to come along the way, right? That's a solid. Like, Law is doing them a solid, man. Look, these dudes don't even have a certification in certain things, but Law is just bringing on a Okoye just because they kick it, right? Law is bringing on Vach, or Law is bringing on Big Game James because they know each other. That's just a solid. I get it. Low-key, shout out to Mike McCarthy for doing that. At the end of the day, that was a real move. Like, dude, I'm going to bring you in, dog. You said that you can do it. I'm going to bring you in on a solid. Now, that's OG status right there. Low-key, even though he wasn't really qualified to do it, he did it anyway because Nolan in the last 5 or 6 years didn't do anything on defense anyway. That was just straight up solid. But for Mike McCarthy to bring back Kellen Moore, there's no difference on this particular offense that we got a chance to identify with from 2020 to now, from 2007 until then. It was nothing different. It was the same offense, basically. Will they sully Collins' name? No, they're trying to trade him right now, Paul. No. In Collins right now, I believe that when they said this right here, that Cowboys are having an active trade conversation, active meaning that somebody's on the other end of the phone, but they say, hey, put down the phone, let's call Ian Rappaport's agents and let them know that we're about to trade this guy. And this will get you away from the other news that's going on in Cowboys land, by the way. But the mainstay, he's been the mainstay since 2015. Collins is due $10 million this coming year, and there are interests from other teams. You notice he put S on teams. So there's teams that's really looking into this. I've seen somebody say, yeah, what about Cincinnati? That would be a real good fit. LSU ties, Collins and Joe Burrow. Hey, Chase. All of those, Jamar Chase, LSU Tigers all over again, way in Cincinnati. if it's Cincy, the price of that trade bag went up. And I'm gonna say, nah, dog, it's first round draft pick, dog. You ain't finna fleece us. No. And if it's the second, conditions. If this guy plays 80% of the times or 90% of the snaps, that second round draft pick is elevating to a first. You know, I'm putting some conditions. I'm not finna trade this dude for no third or no fourth round draft pick. No. I'm not trading Collins for a third or fourth round draft pick. I'm fighting everybody. If we hear Cowboy Nation, if we hear important news out of Frisco, the Cowboys had agreed to terms to trade Collins for a fourth-round draft pick to the Cincinnati Bengals. In exchange, this will be not for the 2022 draft, but for the 2023 draft. The Cowboys will get a fourth-round draft pick, but here are the good things. The good things will be that they will be out of paying Collins $10 million, and the Cincinnati Bengals will then in return have to pay Collins that $10 million. We will have more news at 7 about this conversation as we break down more information about the Cowboys. You know, we will be mad. You know, oh my gosh, we will be mad. We'll be flipping tables over here. Saying a fourth round draft pick? Come on, no way. And if the Cowboys try to, you know, butter it up and say, hey, we got $10 million. Yeah, no. You know, look, the only way I move off from Collins is I won't go no lower than the second round draft pick with conditions. And before somebody open their mouth and say, a third round would be nice, and on top of that, Law, you got to think about it. We don't have to pay the $10 million. Well, what third round offensive lineman that you will have right now and start ready for a right tackle or guard that's in this draft? Who will you really low key? You reaching, if I can say, in the second round, who is going to be a sure starter in the second round out of this draft on that line? So the favor is you getting this second round draft pick and we getting up out of this money that we owe Collins. That would be the favor. You know what I'm saying? That you getting for the second round draft pick, you getting a starting Pro Bowl offensive lineman. But what I'm doing is I'm putting some conditions to it, baby. My conditions that thing is going to move up to a first. No higher, I meant to say. No higher than the first. No higher than the second, I meant to say. I'm sorry, no lower, bro. Yeah, my bad. My vernacular is terrible. You're right. Better, like, yeah, appreciate you. Is the cap hit? Is the way because of the management? This is from Michael Helton. Is the cap hit? Is the way because of the management? Appreciate you, Alpha Red, and appreciate you, Helton. People always play us for idiots and fools, right? And they quick to say, man, the Jones family been doing this for 30 years, so obviously they know what they're doing. And I say that's bull sugar. Just because you're in a position for 30 to 40 years doesn't mean that you know more. Just because your daddy made the risk and did all of the movements and you fell upon that positioning because you knew of the person that's in charge doesn't mean that you have a right to know more. Football, knowledge, what have you, right? That doesn't mean that. It don't. If that's the case, if a doctor just got doctor on his name of psychology, and he say, well, I'm a doctor of psychology, but I've been a doctor for 30 years or 40 years, then dog it, I can do brain surgery. No. Two different things. So the problem is with the Cowboys, is we do have talent. We do. But the way and the nature of how we handle our resources is the main issue. It's the main fault. For example, people are led to believe that $75 million was the reason why we didn't go out there and do anything for the Cowboys as it relates to free agency. Excuse me, the $75 million contract to Dak Prescott wouldn't have existed if you stood your ground and said, you know what? Coming out of your second year, we already seen this team never having back-to-back winning season, although you didn't make it to the playoffs in a long time outside of 8-8, 8-8. Here's a contract that's very serviceable to your skill set so that we can start working on other things. What is the contract law? $22 to $23 million. At the time, Dak Prescott, if you thought he broke his leg 2020, he would have ran through there and almost broke his leg to sign that contract. Let me hurry up and sign this one. $23, $24 million? Shoot, let me hurry up and sign this one. I ain't made this much money in a long time. I never made this much money. This generational type of money. Nobody in my family made this type of money. He would have hurried up and signed that. He would have almost dang near broke his leg trying to sign that contract. But they said, you know what? You ain't a Carson Wentz. At the time, that was his bar. You ain't a Carson Wentz. You're not a Jerry Goff. You're not even a Carr. You're not a Jimmy Garoppolo. Right? And that is what happened. He would have been signed that contract. We wouldn't be talking about the money. He would have been finishing up his contract. On top of that, Cowboy Nation, the same could be said about DeMarcus Lawrence. You had him right at 13. But he said, you know what? We're gonna put that tag on you. You had to play on the tag. Genius. Jerry Jones was gambling against him. This is Terrence Shorts. Yes, somebody get the picture, baby. It's like Stephen White. Anthrax, man. Y'all all right? Let's be Kurt says anybody that knows everything in front of Will McClay. Yeah, I think that I forgot to give credit to this person. I don't know whether or not it was Big Game James or the OC or Boss Cowboy, but they did lament that if without Will McClay, we are the Jets. We are the Jets. We are the Lions. And I ain't lying. Right? Will McClay is doing a noble job that I believe that not a lot of people will do. Because there's pride that comes before the fall, right? There's a lot of pride, that comes with it. I know his work. I work hard to get my degrees and my education, right? Educational degrees, and I can't go to a company and say, hey, this is what we going to do, Law. We going to pay you the general manager's pay, but your positioning is going to say cash register, cashier. Cashier number 1, please. And when the store does good, you just going to be the cashier at register 1, and I'm going to do the credit part of it. I'm going to tell you guys that I am the general manager. I make all of the decisions. But we're gonna pay you just above, or just under what general managers make, basically. Yeah, I mean, Will McClay better. He's a whole lot better than me. Cause I was like, man, money is cool and all, but shoot, no. You gotta give me that whole title. and you got to move aside because I want to be able to hire and fire. If you guys going to put the blame on me anyway, if things don't go right, no. But when it go right, it goes to you, no. And that, my friend, what they did to Chris Richard. Never gave him the title of defensive coordinator, right? It was just crazy. Rob Marinelli was a defensive coordinator. But they said it was Chris Richard as the defensive coordinator. But he didn't have the title. He had the responsibilities without the title. No, don't do me like that. No. No, I'm going to say, if I'm the defensive coordinator, because everybody was whining and complaining about Chris Richard in 2018. They were saying that, hey, man, was it 18 or 19? Whatever it was. They were saying it's Chris Richard's fault. I'm like, wait a minute. Hold on. It's Rob Marinelli. I pulled up the website and showed everybody. Hey, Rob Marinelli is the defensive coordinator. Nah, Lord, he ain't the defensive coordinator. The title, he is not the defensive coordinator. That's just his title. No. Look, Chris Richard better than me. There's Chris Richard better than me, and Will McClay better than me. I would have said no. I would have been in that meeting and said, nah, you know what? Ain't no beta alpha, and ain't no beta male coming out of this. No way. You gotta have to give me my title. I want my door with GM on it, or I want my door with defensive coordinator on it. I want to be able to yell, spit, and fire this dude, bench this guy, tell him he messed up, and he gonna have to hit the bench. No. Scott said, do you want paper or plastic? And I'm still a cashier. Scott, one of my first job, I was what do you call that? Like a bag boy for Piggly Wiggly. And I had to mop the aisles, laser line the stores, and I tell people to build good character, right? But every now and then I had to give paper or plastic. But I was old enough to be out there when they had the brown bags. And I used to hate when they said, baby, you got a double bag mine. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. And the old lady would say, don't squish my bread. Like, what do you think? I'm not trying to squish your bread, And you help them from small town Mississippi, so Piggly Wiggly, low key, had one of the better delis out there anyway. And that's a story of a different day. But I remember, working those type of jobs build a lot of character. And a lady, she had like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 type of brown paper bags that I had to double bag, right? Double bag the brown paper bag, getting paper cuts and everything. And for me to help her out, scorching hot, 110,000 degrees outside, sweat just a bubbling. And you help her moving stuff, and she's being demanding. No, I said right there. No, move it right there. Like, dog, am I a slave with pay? And then end up finishing all that stuff. The old lady said, hold out your hand. I hold out my hand, and she put like a nickel in my hand. I was like, you mother. I almost said, you mother, I'm about to throw that money right back at her. But she put the nickel in my hand, like that nickel. Could have been a dime. Was worth my time. Boy, I tell you. But that's a story of a different day. Double bag and brown bag stuff. No. I couldn't have been where I'm at now if I didn't go through that, because I knew that wasn't going to be my reality. No. And I'm not saying that I'm not humble, but come on, Cowboy Nation. Low-key, Piggly Wiggly had the best red hot laws. Yeah. Gerard, yeah. But back to the storyline. Do they still have Piccadilly in Mississippi? Yeah, they have Piccadillys. But Piggly Wiggly deli, the deli is a whole lot better than Piccadilly's. Yeah. Jay Lombardi, you're a better man than me. Wanted to take that. But during that time, I remember gas was 88 cents a gallon. So, I mean, you look at gas now, shoot, it ain't 88 cents a gallon. Oh, my gosh, man, the pig rule. Gina, how wouldn't you get nearly as much as we gave ever? Yeah, appreciate you. I worked at Piggly Wiggly, and that was my first job. Oh, Montgomery, me and you share the same passion. Piggly Wiggly being our first jobs. Yeah, appreciate you. Hey, at the end, I had to open the store. I never forget, I worked Saturday from sun up to sundown. I wanted that overtime pay. And at the end, you have to really mop the entire floor, man, the entire store, man. And I remember those days. Let me get back to the Cowboys conversation, though. Bagging groceries was fun. Yeah, every now and then. Cowboys downfall. Oh, my gosh. Let me see what else they have here as far as the news cycling. All right, so what do we have here? Y'all bear with me. I know somebody else talking about this. Yeah. Give my thoughts on this one.
5 moves Dallas must consider making in order to be Super Bowl contenders. Now, Patrick Walker is a terrific writer for CBS Sports. Very logical, very thoughtful young man.
That is my dude.
And he's covered this team for a long time. Also the co-host of the Catch This Fade podcast with Katie Drummond. Move given the quickly do you think this thing on this
Bobby
one?
Wagner.
Yeah, premium player.
Bobby Wagner's up there.
Wagner, some attitude, some punching.
All right, just mop through that one. All right, so they're not talking about it on the radio. Okay, they were talking about something else. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Gas price next week will be a one arm and a leg. This is from Gerard. Oh my gosh, man. Gas prices are high. Yep, you got to mop the floor every night. Yeah, that was part of the closing process. And Laser Line, they believed in that. I'm from Northeast. What a hoghead cheese at. Yeah, gas stations had the best hoghead cheese. Oh, my gosh, man. It was loud. It killed your ears. That's the 1940s grocery store mentality. Yep, and you had to buffer the floor, I think, once a week. Or was it once a month? I forgot. How sweet. Yeah, appreciate y'all, man. Yeah, boy, y'all Mississippian just like me, baby. Everybody got a little Mississippi in them. What makes a move for the Mike linebacker? Okay. Here's the truth. Francis Bernard, Luke Gifford, both of those guys, the Cowboys said that they will bring them back only if it's a cap-friendly deal, okay? And we both like Francis Bernard and Luke Gifford. I think Luke Gifford did a wonderful job of blocking the punt kick in the Patriots game, right? He was known for this past season. So my notion is, and I did a video on it, and it's going to be uploaded. It was once a month. Appreciate you, Montgomery. Here's the thing. The Cowboys, according to Ian Rappaport, is way down the list what he said earlier, that there are 3 teams interested in Bobby. One being the Cards, the other one being the Rams. Oh, go figure. And the third one being the 49ers. Those are teams that saying that they really would like to bring in Bobby for a cup of coffee. Now, out of those teams, I don't know how the Rams stay with money, but they got money. They got more money than us. Do the Cards have more money than us? Yes, they have more money than us. Do the 49ers have more money than us? I believe they do. So we are in a situation whereas are we considering to compete? Is Bobby can be looking at it 2 ways. I'm trying to get the biggest money that I can on my way out, or Bobby could be looking at it like, man, or 3 ways. Trying to get the biggest money I ever received on my way out, or a legitimate bag of money on my way out. I represent myself, and I want to look smart. I want to have the smart move here. This is generational wealth, right? Or 2, do I want another chip? Who offers the strongest chance of me winning another chip? Number 3, do I want a system that I already know and feel comfortable with? So out of those 3 choices, not saying that the Cowboys are not in favor of winning a Super Bowl or what have you, but could it be, Cowboy Nation, that out of those three choices, that Bobby would say to himself, you know what, it's not about the money. It's not about the fame. It's not about going to the Super Bowl, which would be hard-pressed to say that. But it's about being comfortable. It's about ending my career the right way. Let me hit up Dan Quinn, since I know the system that he coaches, and I trust and I believe in Dan Quinn. And what favor would that be for the Cowboys and Dan Quinn? Let me go to the Dan Quinn tree. Let me go over there to play under Dan Quinn. That would be awesome for us. That would be the best storyline out there. Jay Lombardi, Wagner would fit here, yeah. And Wagner wouldn't have to walk around on eggshells. He know for sure that just like when Keanu Neal was available, we went and got him. Just like when DeMonte KZ was available, we went and got him because they know of the system. But what I don't want people to do is to get hurt by thinking that the Cowboys think like us, by thinking that the Cowboys are looking at this thing and saying to themselves, we're going to win at all costs. No, the Cowboys are not thinking about that. And I'm not throwing any shade at the Cowboys. But the ownership, Jones family, they looking at it like, man, we got to protect the 2023 draft. Not draft, but the cap, 2023 cap, 2024 cap, and the 2025 cap. That's how they look at it. Mon says go for Jordan Hicks. I can't stand Jordan Hicks, but if that's the case in the scenario, then go for him, I guess. Shout out to you, Dallas Cowboys. He said, Law Nation, what's hating? Or what's happening, or that's what you're saying? Is Neal signed yet? I don't think so. I don't think Neal is signed. Terrence Short says, tell that to Stephanie Jones. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Is that the girl's name? Oh, no. Her name is Cynthia, right? Cynthia. Her name is Cynthia Davis. The other daughter. All right. Sign big boy Booby Wagner. Let's go. Thank you. Shout out to you, Army Mom. Appreciate you. Thank you for jumping in. And that's all I have for it. That's all I have for this conversation about Bobby. With all of this talent, they should be thinking that way, and that's what so damn irritating. Law. This is from Andrew Jackson, the president. All right, Andrew Jackson, you're right, Drew. We should be thinking like, all right, it hit me. I'm watching this series, the Snowfall, and in Snowfall they move in weight. I'm gonna say it like that. And they flipping keys, basically, the substance. And when they doing that, you got your pure white, which is really usable because you can break it down further, right? And get a higher ratio return. Instead of you charging 10 a key, you can charge 15 to 20 a key, right? We just speaking, right? We speaking on some drug terminology, right? So instead of you going out to the product that's less in value, that you can probably get 8 to 10 a key, why not invest a little bit further and get the pure stuff that you can flip, and you don't have to be put in danger as much. Now, when funds get low, some of the money and the resources from Snowfall, that they got certain groups that got their stuff that they recut it and they try to break it down even further so that they can get most of their returns and spread it out because they lost their connect. Their re-up, their plug is no longer there. So what they doing is they trying to spread it out, and the potency level of it is not there to the level of what the customers are really accustomed to. Because now it's been stepped on. Now it's been cut down and diluted in a sense. So every time they do that, the fans know, the audience know, the tweakers know. Like, look, man, this stuff ain't potent. It ain't hitting like it was, man. What's going on with it, man? You selling that weak sauce. And what the Cowboys been doing, collectively speaking, is that they have not re-entered the re-up with the Great Connect. What do you mean, Law? Well, I mean this right here. This particular team is refusing to go back and hit up the Connect. They still got some of that old product, and they are sitting out there trying to spread it. And they do this thing, what we've been known for them to do is to restructure and chop it and put some more baking soda in it and add some more spices to it so we can spread this thing out. Oh, baby, you know, and that's what they've been doing. Ezekiel Elliott, instead of letting him test the market, they bow down to him and said, you know what? We're going to extend you 2 years before your contract. And on top of that, after that, they just read him up, right? They restructured his contract. You can't touch him no more. And his trade value is irrelevant at this time because his money is guaranteed and nobody want to touch that contract, right? So, been selling us chalk powder. This is from Jay Lombardi. Yeah. So the whole thing is with what they doing now with Dalton Schultz, it's brilliant. But people are looking at Dalton Schultz saying, look, we are definitely not finna give you 2 first-round draft picks because they signed them under a non-exclusive tag. That meaning that teams, although the Cowboys have a right to refusal, but teams can offer Dalton Schultz a contract. But in return, the tender would be, hey, you're going to have to give us 2 first-round draft picks. And nobody in their crazed mind is going to say for Dalton Schultz. And I could be wrong. Normally how this works, I say something like that, and 2 minutes later, breaking news, a team is now put a trade offer for Dalton Schultz. You know, Gerard said they got that gold medal flower. Yeah. Oh, they got that old wax stepped on powder. Yeah, Thomas, yeah. So what I'm saying is this right here, Cowboy Nation, collectively speaking, that this team got that stepped on product, baby.
Oh, no.
Yeah, look, somebody said, Daddy said nobody giving up a third for Dalton. But right now his tender is a first. And newsflash, Cowboy Nation, I really like Dalton Schultz, right? I'm not selling or denigrating Dalton Schultz. But if the Cowboys wanted the true data and the data and all of that other good stuff, why didn't you guys put the non-exclusive tag on Dak and see what team would be willing to give up a first, 2 firsts, or a third, or conditional? Nah, they were too scared for that. They're like, nah, we're going to put this man on the tag. They put that man on the tag. He got hurt. And then they put him on the second year. They put him on the tag. And then they extended that man's contract to make it feasible and made that dude go through all of that doubtness for the contract. And I can't make this stuff up. See, Knicks, now you know, Law. Yeah, level up. Rams got a better connect than us. Yeah, man.
Oh, no.
Yeah. They do. They got a good connect over there, boy. I said, God, dog. Y'all crazy, man. Shout out to Snowfall, man. Dak is the truth. I agree. Dak is the truth. But the way we had to get around to get to that problem of uncovering who is the truth, you had to go through a whole bunch of rigmarole. All right, so now the Cowboys we are looking at into this thing right here to give you guys some good positivity. Y'all listen to me.
Breaking news.
We have Will McClay in this draft, Chris Hall and all of those boys. They gonna bring in a good guy in this draft. We are not finna. This is the philosophy now, Cowboy Nation. Hear me out. As much as we do not dance before the draft, we got a situation where we picking with the 24th pick. I just believe that this team is still better than the Eagles, still better than the Washington Commanders, still better than the New York Giants. And the name of the game is going to the playoff. Now, the Eagles, they got a lot of money. They got the draft looking right at them as well. And they ain't strapped for cash right now. They got $17 million. They're above the cap, right? That when this new year kick in, they be well above way under $208 million, and they can make some things happen. So even if they want to go out there and entertain Bobby Wagner, they can do that. If they want to go out there and entertain a Van Noy, they can go out there and get him. They got some movable pieces that they can do some things with. And they got multiple draft picks that they can look at. They can multiple draft picks that they can look at. You know? I think how many picks they got before the Dallas Cowboys pick? Is it 3 or is it 2? Multiple draft picks before the Cowboys. So we'll find out. Yeah, 3 first-round draft picks. And I think that even the Washington team, they got the 10th or the 11th pick in the draft. You know, so best hire Jerry made is hiring Will McClay. Yeah, this is from Army Mom. Appreciate you. Yeah. So what we got to do is, all right, so let's look into this bubble. Commodes, the Washington Commodes. Let's look into this bubble. Are you guys team defense or team offense? I'm team BPA. But if you team defense, you got to look into this thing and say to yourself, all right, cool. The Dallas Cowboys, if they absolutely decide to go pick up a Jordan Davis, that's a look that can absolutely help Parsons and Jabril Cox whenever he come off of his injury. Because these guys can fly around. You got a big boy inside. You got Navell Gallimore, who looked like he ate a whole nother human being that was bigger than what he was his previous year. I can only imagine what he's going to look like for this year coming up. I do like trenches, defensive or O-line, yeah. Now, on the flip side, if this trade do go through, right, for La'el Collins, we can naturally look into this thing and say second-round draft pick, right, with conditions to a first. We can then take that pick if it's a draft day type of move, like a team, and they fool around and say, okay, the Cowboys will be swapping positions and also picking up blah, blah team. And it won't be the Eagles, by the way. But it will have to be a team that is desperate enough to say, okay, we don't value the offensive line that's in this particular draft in the first like we value La'el Collins. And that's hard-pressed to do that. But we've seen crazier things happen. Then that will be a shining armor for us to double back in and get somebody like a Zion Johnson or somebody, right? One of the strongest guys in this draft. Or like a Tyler Linderbaum. It's so many options out there. that can help this team out. And like I said, in the second round, if we fool around and get somebody that can make an impact, maybe this will be the year we get that one receiver that can take the top off the defense. That can happen too. We got a lot of fast guys in this draft. And I know you guys are not fans of drafting a wide receiver, but I'm talking out of the realms of we ain't going to have Cooper in here no more. We will have stepped-on product, Noah Brown and Simi Fehoko. Stepped-on product. Maybe Simi can elevate even more if given the opportunity. We don't know, right? It's an unknown product right there with Simi. And we definitely don't know what T.J. Vasher is going to do, right? But I can tell you, we need somebody to take the top off the defense. Look at that. I see y'all. Y'all saying, y'all saying Chris. I see y'all, Chris. Y'all saying Chris from the Ohio State. I got Davis over Dean right now. I like Dean, but I like Davis. I think I like that pick. I like that option. Montgomery says, what's going on with Collins? They like Terrence Steele. That's what's going on with Collins. Jaquan Brisker in the second round, Terrence. They're speaking my language, too, with them, All right, Cowboy Nation, I really appreciate y'all, man. It's 3:30 right now. I got to roll like dice, but I appreciate you guys. Stay tuned. I got another video that's out. It's going to talk about what Slater said about Amari Cooper on the trading blocks, as well as the teams. I kind of went over it already, as well as the teams that is interested in Bobby Wagner. I really appreciate you guys. If you're watching all the way to this point, be sure to hit that like button. If you have not, man, come on, man. Come on.
Shame.
For this month.
Shame. Shame.
We giving away the Michael Irvin, the playmaker jersey. We giving away him. So I can't wait to see that. Go sign Tyrann Matthews. This is what the coaching staff, when they went on that trip on vacation time about the Honey Badger. Here you go right here. Cowboys are looking for a free safety. They simply didn't see Honey Badger at that. They didn't look at him as a free safety. They only saw him as a nickel guy. And whether the Jones crew was in the Bahamas or in Frisco, that viewpoint was the reason they weren't interested. And pretty much this is why the Honey Badger responded. No one in Dallas secondary is better than me. On my off day, laughing my A off after 2 knee injuries. And he laughing my A off. Now, a lot of times people don't understand. Oh, Sauce Gardner, yeah, dog. Shoot. Sauce is nasty, baby. But a lot of times people don't understand. For him to tweet that out, he was pissed. He's a Tolo guy. Turn it on, leave it on guy. And right now, this version of a Honey Badger, he's long in the tooth now. I think that the Cowboys would be better re-ing up on the product of a Malik Hooker, or re-ing up with the aspect of looking into this draft and drafting somebody versus paying $14 million for the Honey Badger. I just don't see $14 million right now that the Cowboys are willing to spend. $14 million for the Honey Badger, $14 million for Bobby Wagner. They ain't doing that type of stuff. No, not for long in the tooth players. They ain't doing that. We don't have that on the back end, right? I'm just trying to figure out how much money they are willing to pay for J-Ron Curse. That's what I'm worried about. Like, how much money y'all willing to pay J-Ron? Y'all gonna give that man an offer that he get angry and upset? I guarantee you, they are looking at J-Ron Curse and they are sweating, and they saying that they hope that they can get to this draft first to see who's in this draft, and then after the draft, they make their moves on free agent guys, which they normally do. They wait after the draft. And that will be probably the better solution for the Cowboys, especially looking at the aspect that they like to draft guys versus pay guys on the free agent market, Cowboy Nation. I really appreciate y'all. There was another clip that I wanted to play, but I fooled around and let that go too long. Cowboy Nation, thank those who support. The grind is necessary, baby. Shout out to you, Lord. Thank you. Patrick Peterson, I'm going to talk about that on the next video. It is what it is. Hey, one love for the Cowboys, though. You know, it is what it is. It is what it is. Come on. Let me see if anybody else. Todd Archer normally put out some good stuff. Yep, he the one that had the information about Luke Gifford. The Cowboys will not tender exclusive rights for free agent Francis Bernard, Mitch Hyatt. Bernard played most of his special teams last season. Hyatt has been hurt for the last 2 years. Gifford could be back on a lower deal, like what, $2.4 million on a tender? Okay. Not bad at all, Todd. Let's type in John. You normally have some good stuff. He said exactly what we all thought. The Cowboys believe and Terrence Steele is capable of being a starting right tackle. Let me hit this right here. Appreciate y'all. One love, baby. You see, they tried to play that game on us, man. And we already know how this thing goes when we look at the film. We saying, yeah, we believe the same thing. Y'all can't pull a fast one on me. No Falcon players should be returning to Dallas. Yeah, now that you mention it. So no KZ and no Kiki, huh? No way. Let's go, baby. Earl and Bobby, I feel you, bro. Appreciate y'all. One love. Vincent Conley, shout out to you. D Hood, low rated comment right there, D Hood. Yeah. Appreciate you. Come on. Yeah, come on. Appreciate y'all, man. Yeah, listen to my guy Stephen White, man. Like this thing. If not, it's a shame, man. If you're watching all the way to this point and you have not hit that like button.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
He is the figure that leads this team. He is the identifiable figure that is in charge of this team. He's not the head coach, but the head coach knows that he has to do what the owner says. He's the GM. He's the one who signs the corporate deals. I just wonder for Cowboy employees, for sponsors, for fans, and even to the point of players, does this ever get to them to the point of, this is such a circus and he is such a clown. I want out of this circus, and I don't want to play for this dude, because if you play for the Cowboys, you're not playing for the star. You're not playing for Mike McCarthy. You're playing for Jerry. It's all about Jerry. It all comes back to Jerry and will until he's no longer here. I just wonder, and like Dak, I'm sure he's thinking, God, really? We're trying to keep a team together. We got 20 unrestricted free agents. You're the GM, and now your attention is taken away to solve all of this. Forget about the fact that owner GM's messed up to begin with. How about the behavior of the owner, that some has gone public, some hasn't. Some hasn't. A lot of it's just rumor, but it's out there, and the fans know it. The fans know it just as much as the media does. But it's just then always is, that's just kind of the way it is with that whole Jones family. And, hey, at least they're winning. Well, that helped in the 90s, I think, get past the White House and all that nonsense. As someone tweeted us this morning, did Jerry have a room at the White House? Legitimate question now.
It is.
Very legitimate question. So, yeah, I think back then when you were winning, it's fine. But when you combine that with the futility on the field, this is just a dilapidated circus run by a clown.
Oh, wow. That radio station didn't hold back. Oh, my goodness. That is 1310 The Ticket. Wow. Well, they said that I did. I just played it, and I'm wrong for that, y'all. I'm so wrong. Shout out to Jerry Jones. They ain't holding back.
Take a drag of my cigarette. Breathe me out, breathe you in, yeah. Take a bite of my burger vein. Save a last bite for you.
And you.
For you. Ooh. Don't let the street lights hit you all alone.
Don't let those street lights hit you, Jerry.
You know it's dangerous.
I won't miss your glory hole.
Don't let the street lights.
You can't handle the truth.
I be your player too.
1310 The Ticket.